nature.com and use discount code Chicago.
8:37, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Eden's traffic is sluggish. Foster to Montrose at 17 minutes. Lake Cook Junction outbound it's 14. Inbound Kennedy, trip times 33 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 21 from Montrose, 13 in the Express. Outbound 21 minutes to the airport. A slow pocket from Lawrence to Harlem. Inbound Eisenhower delays start at North Avenue. It's 49 minutes, 390 to downtown, 35 from Wool. Outbound 28 minutes to 390. Stevenson 31 minutes from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to Lakeshore Drive. It's heavy on the ramp to the northbound Tri-State after a crash. Inbound Ryan 19 minutes from 95th to downtown. I-57 11 minutes, I-80 to the Verge. Bishop Ford at 10. Northbound Tri-State, there's a heavy pocket approaching the Bensonville Bridge. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Windy with temperatures near the record today of 69. Cloudy, breezy, and mild. A low of 55 overnight. Currently, we have 47 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The purge is bad enough. It gets worse when it's prosecuted by men of the cloth. Those individuals who took an oath to be beacons of light and truth. Which takes us to Loyola Academy in Wilmette and the Jesuits who run the show there. The Jesuits. George Kemper is a Chicago area native who served as an infantry mortarman in the 101st Airborne Division stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Deployed to Syria for most of 2019. He is currently pursuing a degree in history. He hopes to become a history professor. He also had hoped to become a baseball coach at his alma mater, Loyola Academy in Wilmette. And he was going to be. An offer had been made, according to a write-up that he provided and posted at redstate.com. He was going to be. And then somebody took a look at some of his social media postings, and then he wasn't going to be and is not going to be. For the details on what happened, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid George Kemper. George, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, give us the soup to nuts, particularly what your interaction was with the administration, the person who offered you the job of being a baseball coach at Loyola Academy, and then what happened and how was it communicated to you when that offer was rescinded?
Sure. So I got out of the Army back in May, moved back home to Chicago, and as I was starting up school full-time, and as I was starting up school to be a full-time student, I thought, it'd be a great way to get back into the community and do something I love. I've got a passion for baseball, so I reached out to Loyola to help coach. And that was in October. Then in November, they reached out and they offered me the position. I was ecstatic. I was super happy about that. And they said, it would take some time for them to get back to me with some paperwork to have everything finished. Didn't hear from them until January when they called me and they explained that they were rescinding the offer due to political posts that I had made. And the big problem with that was that, or what I had a problem with was they didn't allow me to defend myself. They didn't allow me to explain myself over the phone. It was just this is our decision and that's it. And with that, I was thrown off because I assumed that it'd be a given that as a baseball coach, I wasn't going to be hired to discuss politics, with students or staff or parents or anyone. I was hired to be a baseball coach, and that's really all I wanted to do. So
when you say they did this and they did that, who is the they? When we're talking about the purge these days, we got to name names.
Yeah. So it was my main interaction was through the head baseball coach, Chris Ackles at Loyola. That's who I interacted with on whether it came from the offer and then also the job being rescinded.
And was it his call, or was Ackles in your corner?
He explained that it wasn't his call, and he didn't. I couldn't tell if he was in my corner or not. I understand he's in, his own position at Loyola,
right.
but he did make it clear that it wasn't just his call.
But and let's talk about the nature of these tweets. I mean, you were just questioning the COVID-19 response here in Illinois.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was more kind of, I never had anything saying I wasn't following the guidelines or anything. It was more just saying, hey, this seems a little fishy. Other states are handling it different ways, and there doesn't seem to be a problem there. And kind of just questioning it, saying, is this really the best approach to take? And apparently Loyola had a problem with that.
Well, let's read a couple of the tweets in question. And by the way, do you know these tweets that we have? These were the tweets, the posts that were flagged by Loyola as problematic. Do you know that, or are you just assuming that?
I'm just assuming for a couple of them. There is one that they specifically called out, but the other ones they weren't specific. They just mentioned anything that I had posted relating to COVID-19.
Well, was it the tweet on December 17th where you tweeted, I bet there were plenty of Jews in Germany who are called conspiracy theorists at the start of it all?
Yes, that one they pointed out, and they said that could be seen as, anti-Semitic or have issues with, which I meant no disrespect or anything. It was not meant to be in a negative light towards the Jewish faith or people. It was simply a historical fact that did happen. And I think that's something that a historical fact we shouldn't dismiss lightly.
Yeah. So here's the thing about that tweet. I don't like that tweet. I don't like that I mean, as Bill Maher said, everybody's doing it. I get it. It still doesn't make me like it. I don't like, Holocaust comparisons, Nazi Germany comparisons. I just think it's they're over the top, at least in terms of where we are. However, the idea that is anti-Semitic, particularly in the context of these other tweets, is absurd. And it's also shouldn't be a terminable offense. And you would think that the athletic director or the principal, whatever the power structure is at Loyola Academy, would be able to make that distinction too, to say, you know what, George, that's in poor taste from my point of view. So let's just do things in good taste because we want to, you're going to be a representative of the school, and we want our representatives and our coaches and the people who are interacting with our young men to be, to be role models. So let's do things in good taste. So, I get what you were doing. It's a little over the top. Maybe it's in bad taste. Maybe my view is it's in a little bit of bad taste. But I mean, the idea that you go from offer to no offer over that is just disproportionate.
No, and absolutely. I do acknowledge that it was, it's an exaggerated comparison. Absolutely. And your point is, you're spot on. If they had reached out to me and said, hey, we're not a fan of this, we'd like you to delete it or not post things like this in the future while you're employed by us, I'd respect that as they're a private institution, but there was no conversation like that.
See, that's the key to me, is that there's no opportunity to have a conversation like adults. I mean, for frick's sake, you served our country in the military. You're a graduate of the high school. You're not given any consideration. You're just, here's the offer. Oh, my gosh, somebody's going to take this and run with it, and then we're going to have a controversy. And rather than be, as I said before, sentinels of the truth and examples of fair play, we're just going to run away like cowards and let George Kemper twist over a tweet. That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, and to build on that, you're spot on with all this, in that when I was at Loyola, it was a school that encouraged diversity of thought, respectful debate and everything. I can't tell you how many times, you'd hear the saying that St. Ignatius is credited with of, go forth and set the world on fire.
Yeah.
And that message being that to live a life of passion and conviction and, in a sense, spread your flame throughout the world. And it seems that, ironically, Loyola is now trying to snuff out anyone's flame if it goes against the status quo or goes against what they don't like to hear.
So is there any hope of getting back into Loyola to coach baseball, or are you interested in coaching baseball somewhere else?
I would love to still coach baseball, absolutely. Like I said, I haven't heard anything from Loyola. And also this whole experience has really tainted my view of what Loyola now stands for.
Yeah, well, it should.
But, yeah.
I mean, has anybody from Loyola, whether it's other coaches, even in other sports, or teachers, or parents, as this has become a little bit public, it's going to be more public now, has anybody reached out to you? Has anybody said, I got your back? Has anybody, said, I'm going to go to the principal and talk to him about this decision? Has there been anybody willing to stand with you?
Yeah, so there has been a ton of support. I've been getting emails, texts, phone calls, everything from people I've never even heard of, saying they're alumni, their parents, they know the school, their kid went to the school, or their husband or their wife went to the school. So the outpour has been great, and people have said that they are going to be calling the school, they're writing to the school, and that they stand with me, and that they don't support these policies in place at Loyola.
I'll tell you what, this is one of those things, one of these opportunities. And so I hope Loyola alumni do step up the way you're describing. I hope more of them do, especially those that have clout there. Because this is not Harvard with a $40 billion endowment. Loyola alumni can put pressure on the administration here. This is where you could have an impact. And you don't even necessarily need to be a Loyola alumni. You could be a Catholic living in Chicago and be disgusted by what this Jesuit-run school that's supposed to be, one of the better private schools in the region is doing here. What a pathetic, cowardly example that they are setting for the young men there, and that we're going to be under your tutelage, at least in part, as a baseball coach. This is such an opportunity, and I hope people take it.
Yeah, no, and to build on that, I wish this could have all been avoided. I really do. At the end of the day, I just wanted to coach baseball, and I looked forward to that. But I firmly believe that, the consequences of inaction and not doing anything when you see an injustice are far more severe than the consequences of standing up for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this is this is how the purge persists. If this is allowed to go unchallenged, then don't come crying or don't feign surprise. Being like, how is this happening? When it's visited upon your kids, somebody you care about, an institution you care about. How did this happen? How did we get here? We got here because there were all these examples all down the way that you saw and you didn't do anything about when you could have done something about it. This is an opportunity to be impactful. I mean, honestly, I don't want to put pressure on people, but, there's a certain football coach at Loyola Academy who is a stud and has a lot of support because he's probably the best football coach in Illinois, maybe the best football coach in high school in America. I don't know. And he's brought state championships there and so on and so forth. There are people there that know better, that could do better here. And I hope they do on your behalf, because this is just so pathetic. I mean, did maybe ask some of those Jesuits or some of those allegedly faithful Catholics if they've ever read C.S. Lewis and how they like living lives as men and women without chests. There's nothing but appetites between their ears and where their heart is supposed to be, for gosh sakes. What the hell? Honestly. All right, well, that's not really a question. That's just my rant. But,
but it was a good one.
George, I mean, keep us informed of what transpires here. We'll be watching, and hopefully maybe there'll be, a green shoot here, an actual reckoning for an ignorant wrong that was committed.
Yeah, no, I think, the end goal, the best case scenario, in my opinion, would be for Loyola to come out and, admit that this cancel culture is wrong, and come out and say that they're going to eliminate the policies in place that allow it to grow within their school.
Or just how about behave like adults and say, you
Yeah,
know what,
exactly.
what we're going to do is make sure that when we have interactions, because examples to our students, we're going to have interactions and we're going to follow the norms of a free society, things like due process and conversations when there is a perceived slight or somebody did something wrong, and the possibility of contrition and so forth. We're not going to run away like scared little kids. Honestly, these freaking people.
No, I know. I mean, at the end of the day, they say they're a Catholic school, so I would expect them to follow the.
And it
Catholic
could be only
teaching.
one parent too that complained, and they, change everything because one person's upset.
Absolutely.
George Kemper, he's a Chicago area native, Loyola graduate, served as an infantry mortarman in the 101st Airborne Division in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, deployed to Syria for most of 2019. He's pursuing a degree in history, hopes to become a history professor. George, Godspeed with everything you're doing, and as I said, keep us informed so we can keep our audience informed.
I absolutely will. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for your service. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of U-Store-It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of U-Store-It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Changing the world, one life at a time.
It was definitely an answer to a prayer and a desire that I had for a long time to take in more fruits and vegetables because I knew it would make me healthier. So I'm grateful for it. I got my mom's almost 90. She's been on it now for several years. I swear she's going to end up taking care of me someday. She will tell anyone who will listen to her about the change it made in her life. She genuinely believes Balance of Nature saved her life because 8 years ago, her health was not good at all. She started making some changes and added on Balance of Nature several years back, and it's just been amazing to see the change in her.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is an important notice to